Hey, what's going on everybody? Mitch here and welcome back to another video. I just wanted to go over a quick update about WW2 Online, a massive multiplayer online first-person shooter that's been around since, 2001, and now is completely crowdfunded. Is getting its first major update, which includes new vehicles in almost a decade. Recent news was released on WW2 Online's own website, and in that release we learned that we'll be soon getting tank to counter the self-propelled anti-artillery response. This is 5 new units we'll be getting to the game. The Stuka G2, which we got a preview for. Also on the Axis side, we're going to get the SDK transport with an Flak 28 mounted on the back. Not exactly a historically accurate rendition, but it is a good workaround, which I'll explain later. On the American and French side, we're going to get the P39 Air Cobra, which has a 37mm cannon mounted to it. And also in the air on the British side, we're going to get the Hurricane Mark II-D, which has a 40mm Bofors gun basically strapped to the front of it. Pretty mean looking. As far as the Allied SPA goes, they're going to get an A-15 Crusader platform with a 40 Mike Bofors on top. I'm curious to see how they make that look. Now going back to address the thing about how the SDK with the Flak 28 on top is not exactly accurate. The SDK was a mobile platform for anti-air. The Flak 28 was never, to my knowledge, mounted on top. I think it was a Flak 36, which is a 37mm, I believe, anti-air, not a 40mm like the Flak 28. So not completely accurate, but I'm going to give them a pass. Because like I said, WW2 Online is a completely crowdfunded game now. They don't have the resources to model the units, animate them, and then do the damage model on them at this time. So this is where it makes sense, because these weapons basically take existing things into WW2 Online and just add like small details in the model, like gun pods or gun platforms. That should be a lot easier to do, hopefully. With a community itching to get their hands on some new hardware fast, and with a potential Steam release coming up very soon, relatively speaking at least, these units were a good fit. Now there is no direct time for release for these units. They do want to release them all at the same time because it would be very unbalanced if you released all tank busters and had no counter for them. Although with that said, I'm very curious to see how tank busting these units will be, just because of the fact that a 40mm Bofors, which is most of these units, like everything that they're releasing is basically built on a 40mm or 37mm kind of platform, for the most part, I believe. I think the Flak 28 is a 37mm, I believe. That's the only one I'm like slightly iffy on. Everything else is the Flak 28 and the Stuka's G2, I believe, is 37mm. Everything else I think is built on the 40mm platform, and the 40mm and the 37mm are already in game in some form or another. And with the current damage model, they don't do a significant amount of damage to most vehicles. Soft vehicles like, trucks, Opals, Bedfords, things like that, Morses, they'll shred through them easily. But maybe armored cars, they could take some wheels off, maybe kill crew. I think things like the M10 later on, when the Americans come into the campaign and they have the M10 tank destroyer, it could probably do some damage to that, considering it's an open top vehicle. But I'm not sure how much damage it's going to do otherwise, and I'm actually very curious to see if they stay tank busters for long, with the Allied aircraft at least. I don't think too many people are going to be dogfighting with the Stuka G2, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw some Hurricanes and P39s just getting some snapshots on some 109s with those really powerful 40 mics. It's gonna do some devastating damage to aircraft that for some reason they're not working on tanks. People will find other uses for them. Now once again, this will be the third time I said it, WW2 Online is a community funded game completely. They currently have a crowdfunding thing going on Indiegogo. It's got 10 days left as of this video being posted. I encourage you to check out WW2 Online. I think most of you in my community would enjoy this game. Check it out. It does have a free-to-play portion. You can have a lot of fun just playing the free-to-play portion, but if you do like the game, consider throwing a few bucks their way. It is very worth it. Unfortunately, I don't have nearly enough time to play the game as much as I used to, but I still throw money to it just to support that community in that game. Because even though the looks aren't great, I tell everyone, you can get past the looks, it is a fantastic game. But that quick little update is all I had. I hope you enjoyed it, and please do consider checking out World War II Online, Battleground Europe. It really is a fun game if you can look past the 2001 graphics. But until next time, have a great one. Bye.